Welcome to Medica Nova Wellness Studio with your educational videos about optimal health and the most innovative and holistic approach to your well-being. Today I have a very special video for you. I want to share with you some natural and therapeutic treatment protocols for our four-legged ones, for our pets. Yes. In recent years, pet owners increasingly thought more alternative and holistic approaches for pet health care. One of such an approach is called pet homeopathy. It's a form of alternative medicine. Rooted in the principles of holistic healing, pet homeopathy offers a natural and a safe way to support the health and well-being of our furry companions. So enjoy this video. To stay updated with my ongoing videos, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel, share and like it with your friends and families, and don't forget to click that bell as it notifies you every time I upload a new video. Have a look at our website, medicanova.net, at the Medica Nova Online Education Department, where you will find certified home study online courses in homeopathy, in health and wellness coaching, mental health, quantum healing, and so much more. We recently launched a course, Positive Psychology and Mental Health, which is now accredited and approved by the National Board Certified Health and Wellness Coaches Commission by 12.5 continued education units. So if anybody out there needs to re-certify their license or looks for continued education points, here it is. Contact us at health@medicanova.net for more information. So, in this video, I don't want to look at diseases of dogs and pets, as I usually do with our two-legged friends, the humans, but in this video I want to focus on behavioral disorders with dogs and cats. Now, most of you know, I'm the owner of Medica Nova, practice for integrated and educational medicine, and the principal of Medica Nova online education, as well as the owner of this channel. So as I take care of my patient each and every day, I not necessarily focus on pets, nor I'm a vet. But I recently was contacted by a friend of mine called Leslie, who has a cat and a dog and was in need of some help. And here it is. So, as I said, I'm not a vet. I don't treat animals, but I have treated animals with homeopathy before, especially on the mental emotional aspect, because the principle is the same as if I would, in terms of the homeopathic principles and the laws, as I would apply it with humans. So, homeopathic remedies can be administered to animals according, as I said, to the same principles as I apply them to infants, to children, to teenagers, to adults, and the elderly. And what are the principles? It's called, we have a sort of law called likes cures likes. That means we look for something out there in nature, either from the plant kingdom, the mineral kingdom, or even the animal kingdom, which matches the personality and the symptomatology of the dog and the cat. So the remedy picture has to be as similar to the patient's personality or symptomatology picture. It's a matchmaking situation here. So really the key principles are based on individualization, even when we treat pets. So what does that mean? It means each pet is viewed as a unique being with its own set of physical and emotional characteristics. So we treat the animal according to the personality and the physical ailments. So when prescribing solutions, homeopathic veterinarians will take into account, as I said, not only the physical symptoms, but also the temperament, the personality, as well as the environment of the pet. So veterinary homeopathy tends to vary widely between practitioners. Some are more focused on like livestock. The others are more on pets. But while this form of care is generally considered safe, it is important to understand the basics of homeopathy and what it can do and what it cannot do. So it's not a wonder drug, but in my understanding, it can do so much, especially with pets. He always consult with a licensed veterinarian, of course, before beginning any treatment, so they can consider, homeopathy here. It also should be seen with pets more as a supplement and not as a substitute to complementary medicine. So pet homeopathy applies, as I said, to the principles of classical homeopathy. And just as with human homeopathy, it aims to stimulate the body's sort of natural healing mechanism. The vital force restores balance between the physical, mental, and emotional aspects. Of course, these remedies are made from natural sources, as I said, often from the plant kingdom, the mineral kingdom, as well as the animal kingdom. And even the American Veterinary Medical Association acknowledges homeopathy as a very safe alternative treatment. So is homeopathy, safe for your pet? And I would absolutely say yes. I've seen it, I applied it before, but it is good to get an advice from your licensed veterinarian, and he or she will give you the reason if homeopathy could be applied or not. But there are many, many success stories, as well as evidence-based research, that even increasing numbers of veterinarians today are studying and gaining the qualifications in practicing the principles of homeopathy. So what can homeopathic remedies do for your pets and your dogs, or where can they help? As I said, in this video I want to talk more about mood and behavioral disorders and not so much focus on ailments. But just to summarize it, the remedies could be great for digestive ailments, for example, even endocrine disorders. Talk about thyroid issues, pancreatic, ovarian, testes, all of that could be wonderful in a wonderful support here. Of course, skin diseases, when it gets to fleas, to coat disorders, eczema, remedies are really great here. How about heart and kidney diseases? I would say bone and joint disorders. So if your dog experiences arthritis, right, it can really alleviate the pain and you need less painkillers. Then we have the ears and the eyes and the nose and the mouth problems. Respiratory disease. Remember, you go on vacation and you have to put your dog into sort of an animal, vacation place, and you pick it up and it comes back with a kennel cough. What to do then, right? Of course, usually you're vaccinated with the dog here, but it can happen, and homeopathic remedies are godsend here. Again, here I want to focus on mood and behavioral problems, but homeopathic remedy can be used for reproductive symptoms or viral infections, right? It's really helpful. And of course, after surgery care, it's like there's the healing process, and how can you support not necessarily taking the bruises away, but also the fusion of maybe if there was a bone fracture, so the bones can fuse easier together and the development works very well. If you're interested in a health consultation, either for yourself or your children, contact me at Medica Nova at health@medicanova.net. Medica Nova is my practice for integrated and educational medicine. We offer a unique blend of natural and cutting-edge therapeutic tools from homeopathy, iridology, sclerology, systemic herbology, advanced biofeedback, and health and wellness coaching, and of course so much more. So book your appointment today. Also, if you want to explore more about yourself, your wellness vision, what motivates you, and how to apply your strengths in achieving the very best of you, contact Medica Nova Wellness Coaching at health@medicanova.net for your 3 months coaching program. I am coaching you to be well. So let me share with you my recent success story applying homeopathic remedies for a cat and a dog. So Leslie, my friend, I was walking with her recently at a hike, and she shared with me her story of her cat Marie and her dog Feather. And she was pretty much at her wit's end, and I suggested, we could try some homeopathic remedies. I think this could work very well. So the next day I got a text from her about Marie, and you can see the picture here on the screen. So Marie, as you can see on the left eye, is quite swollen. Also her nose is quite swollen, and it was because she was stung with multiple mosquitoes. In fact, Leslie pointed out that this is a problem with her each and every summer. Here where I live in the US, we have a lot of humidity. In the summer we have monsoon, so we have monsoon rainstorms in the afternoon, and during the day it's quite hot, so it's a perfect environment for mosquitoes. And Marie suffers quite strongly during the summer months, so the facial area is quite frequently swollen. So in homeopathy, we have a remedy which is indicated for mosquito bites called Ledum palustre 30. Ledum palustre is a remedy you can get hold of online, on Amazon, at your health food store, in any homeopathic pharmacy. And here the potency I suggested was 30. It's the number behind the name. It's quite an over-the-counter remedy, very easy to get. So I suggested to give the tablet one every 1 to 2 hours, maybe for the first day, and then the second or third day, if required, every 2 to 3 hours. So we go down in the dosage plan. So I got a text from Leslie the next day, and it said, Marie's eye is still swollen, but a bit more open today. So that, as a practitioner, gives me, of course, the indication we are going in the right direction. Marie is getting better. I got a text from Leslie the second day, and it says, Marie's eye is completely better. Amazing! Exclamation mark, right? So this gives you an idea that homeopathic in acute situation can work very effectively and very fast. There's the myth around that herbal remedies take a long time to kick in, as well as homeopathic remedies. Well, that's not the case, right? If it's indicated, you can see results quite soon. Let's talk about the dog called Feather. Now, Feather is an almost 1-year-old stray dog, and Leslie adopted it about 5 weeks ago. It was scooped up by, some people who, scoop up the stray dogs and put into a shelter, and it was advertised and Leslie saw it, so it needed a home. Now, Leslie brought the dog to the vet, and it was confirmed that Feather experienced a lot of trauma as well as abuse, even as a puppy already. Now, what was going on with Feather? During the day, she was a perfectly sweet puppy. There was not a malicious streak in her. But during the night, she experienced every single night intense nightmares. She was barking, her body was shaking, but she was fully asleep. She didn't wake up from it. And then in the early morning hours, she went completely wild, and she destroyed every pillow she could get hold of, and also her dog beds. She went very destructive. She became a complete different animal. I felt like she was afraid of something, right? Because she was so sweet during the day. So something, in the night when we sleep, the subconscious comes up. and she was almost living through her trauma each and every night. So of course Leslie was at her wit's end, and she didn't know what to do with this dog anymore. So let's look at a homeopathic remedy which is applied in children with intense nightmares. And that gives you an idea how I came about to the solution to give Feather a remedy called stramonium. And in this case, I gave a potency 200 because of the intensity of the whole situation. So this remedy, stramonium, is indicated for children with intense nightmares. And these children are very much afraid of the dark, right? When they're alone in the dark, in the night, and they go into these nightmares. They even have fear of tunnels, so they can't go through enclosed spaces. It's a strong remedy here. And of course, obviously, there are several types of children who are afraid of the dark, but it's unmistakable in the remedy picture of stramonium. They can react with panic if there's not at least one small light down, so they need a night light. They have dreadful visions, that something really bad can happen. It is not uncommon that they maybe dream about dangerous situations, even black dogs attacking them, or they experience monsters, or really strong fantasies, or people who want to harm them. Right? It's not just the normal anxious, dream. It's a really intense nightmares where they are fast asleep, and yet they act that out. So in these children, when they have a little nightlight, they feel much better, right? Or they know that the parents are nearby. Needless to say, when the children are ill, they can suddenly wake up and are in complete panic, or they have their eyes open and they stay as sort of like in the room, but they're actually fully asleep. So of course, then they want to go to the parents' bed or want to be carried and want to be reassured. So it's this kind of fear where you imagine you're in the middle of the night in the jungle and you can't see anything, but you're all alone. It's that kind of depth of intensity. So the sounds of the wild animals are around, and of course death is lurking everywhere. You also see sometimes in these children that they have a fear of water that can even trigger something like that. So I felt Feather is very alike, to a child who experienced these nightmares. Hence I gave the remedy stramonium 200. 1 tablet only. You open the mouth, give it in, and make sure about 10 minutes before and after they don't necessarily drink water or eat, so it really goes through the body. And so let's look at Leslie's text the first night after we have given the remedy. It says, Feather slept through the night without a single sound. 3 exclamation marks. It's the first time we have not been woken by her night terrors since she arrived. Isn't that amazing? However, she has torn up 3 dog beds this week, including early this morning, and she does that in the very early hours in the morning. Do you anticipate she will need more of those remedies over time? Now I texted her back and said, let's wait a bit. Let's wait about maybe 3-4 days, because the remedy will work deeply on the mental, emotional level as well as the physical level. So let's give it some time. And needless to say, here was the result the second morning. So we have only 2 nights, since the remedy was given. No night terrors again last night, and in capital, no chewing either. Makes me want to study homeopathy for animals. Voila. You see, this is the kind of results you want to see, not just in humans, but also with our pets, right? Because they too are beings, and especially when you see with behavioral disorders, you really know that they experience emotions, they have feelings, they have fear, they have anxiety, right? They have restlessness, they feel these things. And I think it's time that we, as humans, really take that into account as well. So in this video, I would like to share with you some useful homeopathic remedies, especially for behavioral disorders, because I think that's where I can give you some suggestion without being a qualified vet, but I can see the dynamics, I can see the relationships to it. Of course, these are all suggestions, right? Don't take it here, everything what I say is truth, but I have some experience here with some pets too. So we talk about sensitivity to noise, fears, anxiety, restlessness. That's our subject today. Today more than ever, right? Our animals are subject to all kinds of stresses. We have the city traffic, the noise, the exhaust fumes, even the owner's nervousness. You know, dogs are very sensitive, they pick up frequencies, unsatisfactory living conditions, but also sometimes when we go into the other extreme, the spoiling. So with the result that maybe anxiety symptoms develop over time, unless of course the dog was born with it, and that needs then more an individualized treatment plan as well. But there are many ways in which homeopathy can be applied, but in this video especially for mental emotional disorders. So let's talk about the nervous barking. You see that often in breeds or female, in bitches, where there is this agitated, nervous barking going on. It can be a nuisance for everybody around them. And this condition can be treated with a remedy called lachesis. And in this case, potency, I would do 200, just one tablet only. I will write it down in this video so you can see the name and you can order it online if you choose to. Then let's talk about the biting. And there are dogs who give you some warnings, you know, the growling and letting you know that they snap any minute. And they're the ones who don't give you just a warning or some kind of indication that they're lashing out any minute. It just comes out of the blue. It's unnerving, right, to have, and it's unpleasant to have a dog like that. And it can also happen that these dogs are very sensitive to light, to noise, to touch even. And God, the owner is so happy when there is a solution for that. Now, when the biting comes without any warning sign, you want to think about the remedy belladonna. It's a natural remedy. We often give it to children who experience a lot of fever. You know, it's a fever remedy, but also who bite, right? It's like children who suddenly snap out and sort of put their teeth into somebody's arm. Yes, that is a condition. It does happen in children. Belladonna is a wonderful remedy. I would choose the potency 30. Can be maybe followed up with another remedy, Calcarea carbonica 200, but that's down for the practitioner. Now, on the other hand, if you have a dog who gives you some signs, who either the growling or the barking, of course they have to be kept on the lead all the time, otherwise they attack every dog which passes by, especially the ones if they are smaller to themselves. You know, that's a typical case. I would give the remedy hyoscyamus. Hyoscyamus 30, maybe once a day. Maybe you have to give it for a few days, see how it goes. As period goes along, you maybe want to increase the dosage to 200 or 1000 or 1 ml, but talk to your vet who studied homeopathy here. We have another remedy called Nux vomica, and that's sort of in humans indicated for, there's the nervous character, but almost like the type A personality who is very impatient, flares up, with everything, go-getters, definitely strong personalities, but flare up easily. So when we sort of mirror that to a dog, it can be a dog who is maybe aggressive, has also maybe digestive disorders, and is sort of like, let's say somebody comes to your house, a visitor, and the dog knows the visitor, right? Has seen this person, a friend of yours, but can't help itself. It still wants to attack when the friend leaves. Either it snatches onto the shoes or the trouser. And Nux vomica may be a good remedy here. Again, 30, maybe once every day for maybe a week or 10 days. See how that works. It can do wonders if it's the right remedy. We talk about sensitive dogs, right? So when it comes to here, I live in the US, 4th of July. Oh my God, it's a dread for any animal shelter. It's the fireworks, the noise, right? And sensitive dogs can be really affected by that. They easily startle, right? They get really frightened. They go under the dog beds. Borax 30 is a good remedy for that. Look out for that. God, and here he comes. I mean, I used to have a black lab called Rio, and whenever I went or drove him to the vet, and he recognized that, oh my God, we are in the dreaded parking lot, and I took him out of the car, and the closer we edged ourselves to the entrance door, he just put his 4 legs right into the ground and only wanted to turn around and leave this dreaded place. It's the classical situation. It's the fear of going to the vet. The remedy phosphorus 200 may be a good choice here. Now, phosphorus in general has a personality picture of being very sensitive, but also being afraid of future events that something bad can happen, right, in humans. And that's the same what we transfer now, same idea with dogs who have exhibit fear and anxiety of going to the vet. They're very sensitive also to sudden noises. They get easily started, fearful of being touched. It's a good remedy for noise phobias. But it can just counteract this anxiety of going to the vet. Now, if you have a dog, especially elderly dogs who are perfectly still fit, there's nothing really going on, but then during the night they start padding around and become very restless. You as the very kind owner here and considerate, get up in the night, get out of your bed and, feel like, okay, maybe the dog needs to go to the garden and have a pee, only to realize that's not the case. They don't need to pee. And as soon as you go back to your bed, you hear the padding, right? The restlessness all night going around. So that is an expression that your dog is afraid or feels very uncomfortable, insecure during the night. And the remedy, Arsenicum album, 30, a single dose may be just enough to cut off this sort of anxiety and create more of a peaceful environment again. The dose may be repeated when it has ceased to act, but don't overdo it here. So this is a great remedy for pets who are very anxious, fearful, insecure. And these pets have a tendency that they can't be left alone, especially in the night. Even if you calm them down, they just have a lot of insecurity and they need to be reassured a lot. They also demand attention, but it really doesn't reduce the insecurities. And when you pick that up, that especially in the night they start padding around, think about the remedy Arsenicum album. Now, when you have a dog who is probably house trained, was perfectly fine, but suddenly ceases to do so, in order to draw attention, they start urinating or defecating in the house, you think about a remedy called Pulsatilla 30. It's, in children, we give this remedy when they're attention seeking, they're very, very whiny, they can't be left alone. It would come out more as the whiny, clingy child, whereas in the dog, you see more than, that they start urinating. And this is an attention-seeking situation. It maybe needs another remedy called Platinum 200, but as I said, that's more for the practitioner. Now, if you have not one dog, but 2 or 3 dogs, and suddenly there is this battle of supremacy happening, whatever you do, they just can't calm down, I would choose the remedy Chamomilla 200. And I would give each dog a remedy to cut through this supremacy battle, so they bite each other. Right? So that would be a good one maybe to think about. I give you another remedy, but I don't necessarily be a big fan of show dogs, but there is a remedy which I think could help even these dogs. So imagine, you are, as a human, are preparing yourself for a big event to go on stage and give a speech. Now, unless you're super confident and you've figured this and sussed it all out, everybody would feel nervous, right? It's called anxiety of anticipation. You maybe feel, hey, maybe I'm losing my line. What would other people think about me? This kind of thing. It's where you feel like, God, this situation could be overwhelming. It's the same with show dogs who are trained to perform under high pressure. There is a remedy called Argentum nitricum. It's made from silver. It's a fantastic remedy, especially for dogs who display suddenly a very overwhelming behavior. And we will go into that in a minute. I would start giving the remedy commencing a few days prior to the event. So, if you feel like your dog may be prone to it. So what would be the expression of feeling nervous before the event? Well, for example, there is a rebelliousness. Suddenly the dog doesn't want to obey anymore, or ignoring the well-practiced skills, which were perfectly fine beforehand. The snapping of non-existing flies, and this kind of thing. You see that often. That's a nervous expression. Tucking in the tail suddenly between the legs, or running around as if they are demented, right? It's like, what is going on? You see that often, in the shows when the poodles just run around like crazy. That is a nervousness, or even standing still, frozen, and looking at at the point where they have forgotten the entire training, as if they never have been engaged in anything of that. That is a feeling of being overwhelmed, completely bewildered. Argentum nitricum 30 may be a good remedy to consider here. In homeopathy for adults or humans, in this case teenagers often, we give these remedies for when there is exaggerated nervousness, which can even express itself going to the bathroom a lot or having diarrhea, right? It's normal when you feel nervous. So that can happen with a dog as well. Think about that. In general, if there's a panic attack to the point where you shiver and you can't function anymore. Of course, don't see that so much in dogs, but it can happen. I would give Aconite 30. Yeah, it's a great remedy for that. Here the dog is often over anxious and oversensitive to noise, easily startled, can't take anything. I mean, not just anxiety, but panic attacks. So if you see fear and fright, that's pretty much Aconite 30. So in a human, for example, let's say you have a court case and you have to face the perpetrator or whatever, or the ex-husband or whatever it is, and you're terrified, absolutely terrified, and you feel like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. This kind of situation. So it's not trauma, it's more anxiety being frozen. Aconite 30 would be a good remedy here. Of course, you maybe have heard about a Bach flower remedy, rescue remedy. Sort of comes in liquid form, also in a spray bottle. You get it in your health food store. It really acts well for nervousness, agitation. So you can spray a little bit in the water bowl or even on the nose of the animal to calm down the excitability and the nervousness. I want to throw in one more remedy. If you have a dog who is really afraid of water, even drinking water or even hearing the noise of water, lysine. Lysine is a good remedy here, lysine 30. Try it out. So I hope that this video today gave you some useful information, some inspiration how to deal with your pet's behavioral disorders in a more holistic way, right? I mean, with adults, it's the same thing. You would usually get the anti-anxiety remedy or anti-depression remedy, and that's not what we're looking here, right? We're looking for holistic and lasting treatment protocol. And I hope I gave you some tips, to tackle this situation. Again, have a look at our website, medicanova.net, at the Medica Nova Online Education Department. You have certified home study online courses in homeopathy. Homeopathy applied for the whole family, but also homeopathy for pregnancy, birth, postnatal care. We have courses for mental health, for health and wellness coaching, positive psychology, quantum healing, and so much more. So have a look, take care till next time, and enjoy your pets.